Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time you're visiting, I want to encourage you to like and equally subscribe because I share very useful information. Okay, so today's video I'm going to talk about how you can bring your spouse to join you in Germany. Okay, so most likely a spousal visa. So if you are working in Germany or you are a student, you are permitted by law to bring your spouse or your children, and this is only permitted if you actually meet up to several of the requirements. Okay, so as the spouse who is living in Germany, you're actually required to show sufficient fund. If you are a student, for example, you are required to show at least 10,280 euros or thereabout for your own self. So if you are bringing your spouse, you actually need to provide additional funds. Now, as at the time when I did mine, I actually provided, think about that time when I came to Germany, it was 8,640 euros, but when I was to bring my wife, I was told to present additional 4,480 euros, if I'm not mistaken. The lump sum at the end of the day was about 13,000 euros. That's for myself and for my wife. So in the current region where we are, you would estimate at least about 15,000 to 16,000 euros, as a student. That's, I'm talking about the financial obligation, So also, if you are working, you would be required to, present your work contract and your pay slip, So you will be required to at least present like 3 to 6 months pay slip. And what they would want to ascertain is if you have additional income after all your expenses to be able to take care of your spouse, because the government does not want your spouse to become a liability to them. Okay, so secondly, what you would also need to show, is proof of living space. So basically, by law, you are required to have, one person is required to have at least 12 quadratmeter, as a living space to be able to live. Then if you are bringing your spouse, you would need at least 24 quadratmeter. Okay, so during my own time also, I was told to present a contract, a meter vertrag, of living space of 24 quadratmeter. And once you are able to, to show these two things, the spouse, who is in the home country is good to go. Okay, now, so we will go down to what your spouse actually needs to provide, and I'm going to show you through the computer. Okay, so basically what you need to do, I will be using an example based on if you are in your home country. I will be using for this one Nigeria, for example. Okay, so basically what you need to do is, for example, I will just type in the German embassy in my home country, Nigeria. You can do the same for your own country. Okay, so when you do that, I will just click something like this. So it gives me, okay, I move back, and I want to go to somewhere around here. You will see visa, application procedure, Schengen visa, and the rest. So you just choose like the visa because that is what actually concerns you. So you scroll below and you see this place where it tells you that family reunion visa, no person eligible for subsidiary protection. So in Nigeria, for example, currently the wait period is about 10 months. Okay, so what that means is if you're applying now, you would get a date 10 months time. I believe that is actually quite ridiculous. The waiting time is too long. Okay, so what we need to click is just this place where it says application appointment registration. So I'm going to click there, and it brings out a whole new field. You see appointment system of the German Foreign Office, Lagos. I believe this is going to almost be the same if in your home country. Then what I need to do, you can read all this in your spare time, but the purpose of this video, I just scroll down so you can see Schengen visa, immigrant, and long-term visa. Okay, so this is for family reunion or employment purposes in Germany. You just click continue here. Okay, so another page is going to open, and then you will see registration to apply for long-term visa. more than 90 days for family reunion. It writes there explicitly, no student and no work permit. So you click for this one because that is what we want particularly. Sorry. So we put continue. Then once again, they can write this. And I know that for various countries, this might not actually be the situation, but in Nigeria, this is the situation currently. So with your registration from April 20, 2020, your approximately earliest possible appointment to apply for a visa would be in April 2021. Man, like I said, this is very ridiculous. Imagine waiting for 1 year in order to be able to apply for to get an appointment date. That's not so good. Okay, so it says, dear sir, madam, on the following page you can register for an appointment to apply for a visa. The embassy will inform you about your visa application as soon as possible. After your successful registration, you will receive 2 emails. Within 120 minutes, a confirmation email with your reference number, and approximately 4 to 6 weeks prior to your appointment to apply for a visa, you will receive an email with the exact date of your appointment. So basically, what you just need to do is go to the bottom of the page and click new appointment. So I wouldn't click my details inside here, but what actually happens is when you click your last name, you click your first name, you put your email address, you repeat the email address. Now, what is very important here, like you can see the asterisk, is your passport number. It's very important that you do not make any mistake when you are, inputting your passport number, because if you do, then your date is going to be invalid. Then now, you also include the birth date, okay, which also corresponds with the passport number. Then you fill in the security number, you fill it here, then press submit. So when you do that, basically, like they have written in this place, said, after your successful registration, you receive 2 emails. Within 120 minutes, a confirmation email with your reference number. It's very important that you keep that email and the reference number, because many of the communication you'll be having with the embassies with the reference number. And they stated here that approximately 4 to 6 weeks prior to your appointment to apply for a visa, you'll receive an email, with the exact date of your appointment. Don't forget that for people who are in Nigeria, it's a year. So they have told me here that if I'm applying in April, which is the period when I am recording this video, the next date or interview date will be April 2021. Okay, so now let's talk about the requirements that the spouse who is in the home country actually needs. Now I will go down into this place again, and you see, if you click here, when you go, okay, not here, when you click here, you would see this place that's Visa Navigator, right? If I scroll back, I'm going to see that. So Visa Navigator, which visas do I need for Germany? So basically what I want is long-term visa. Okay, so I'm going to click this one which says quick check. Okay, so I just click that one. But if you know what you already want, you could just go back and click skip to visa categories. So that brings you to this one. So you have work visa, vocational training visa, visa for self-employed. But what I want here is visa to join a family member living in Germany. Okay, so if it's a German national, you click this. If it's a foreign national in Germany, or you want to marry a foreign national in Germany, you click this. But for the purpose of this video, we are talking about a foreign national who is living in Germany. So say for example your wife or your husband wants to join you, so you just click this one. Okay, so these are the requirements, guys. It's very important. So it says visa to join your wife or husband who is a foreign national. So you can get a visa for Germany if you are married to a foreign national who holds either a residence permit, very important, a long-term residence permit, a blue card, an ICT card, a permanent settlement permit or a permit for permanent stay in the European Union, and if you and your spouse are above 18 years old. So generally you need to have at least basic German language skill A1. No language skill are required if your spouse holds a blue card in the EU. So basically a blue card is usually given to people who are in specialized field. So say for example you have a spouse who is doing a PhD, you have another person who is a scientist or someone who is into IT, in the IT industry. If you are a spouse to such person, you are not required to do the German A1, So you must have adequate accommodation and financial means to live in Germany. Like I stated earlier in the video, your spouse who is living in Germany must provide adequate accommodation and also financial means. Okay, so now they say, what are the requirements? So what your spouse needs to actually provide is the passport. That's at least, she should have at least 6 months on the passport, the biometric passport photograph, then say feed in application form. Then what's also important is legalized certificate of marriage. Okay, so in everything that is in this general requirements, what is important very well is your the legalized certificate of marriage. Then in addition to that, you will also need a copy of your spouse residence permit. So your spouse would send his or her own residence permits in Germany, and can also send the city registration. Okay, so you also have to show proof of basic knowledge of German, that's at least A1. So like I stated earlier on, if your spouse have an EU blue card or actually belongs to some specialized field, like the person is a scientist or doing a PhD or studying a PhD in Germany, and you as the spouse who don't need to provide a German A1 certification. Okay, so it states here that check the site of the German embassy or consulate general in your country of residence for additional requirements in your country. Then number 2 is very important. Say complete and print out the visa application form using this one. So I'm going to click this. Voila, this is what actually comes. So you would be required, you can see under this category, personal information, contact details, ID documents, travel data, reference, and livelihood. Okay, so let's just go through ID documents, for example. So type of travel documents, so basically you just have a passport, so it's a national pass. So you write the passport number, you put the issuing date, valid date, the issuing date, issued by, issued in. Okay, issued by your country, issued in the state. Okay, so let's check, for example, livelihood again. So what are the means of subsistence in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Germany? So basically what you need to input here is maybe like your spouse fund, or whatever way you intend to fund, your spouse intend to fund, you include it here. So is there a formal declaration of commitment? You say yes from the reference, so your spouse can actually do like can write a document to state that he or she is going to sponsor you while you are in Germany. Okay, so how will you be accommodated? You need to actually know the the type of accommodation your spouse have, and if you have a flat, you can say with how many rooms, maybe with 2 rooms. Then they ask that you have health insurance, longer stay for Federal Republic of Germany. You can just put yes, because sometimes if your spouse already have an health insurance, you can actually go under your spouse under family insurance. Okay, so that's just basically what needs to be done in this place. Okay, so guys, I believe okay, let me take one extra one. Let's go to personal information. You write your family name, you include first name here, you know, the date of birth, place of birth, country of birth, your gender, marital status. Okay, so your current nationality, and if you have a previous nationality, you can include it here. So you also put your father's family name and father's first name, nationality, and every other thing that is here. So this place is actually for your occupation. Okay, all right. So guys, this is just a summary. This is the part one of this video, you know, of how to bring your spouse, you know, to Germany. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the processing, you know, and I believe you have been able to get one or two things. One thing you must actually put in mind is that it is not very easy, you know, but I was able to do it in my own time. My wife came to Germany possibly around 9 months after I came to Germany. Before your spouse leave your home country, you people should do what? Stay together and plan how the other spouse is going to join, you know, the spouse who is traveling. Then I want to encourage you to like this video, to share it with your friends and family. Okay, to the next video, which is the part 2 of this video. See you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.